I don't like it. No, I've been without you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back for part 2 of Bobby. They messed up Bobby. Okay. This is my favorite cartoon. We were creating this project spontaneously just to get some pieces of artwork done throughout my spring break. And I was just strolling through memory lane. And we got Bobby's World in full effect right now. Right now you can see that I've got my acrylic paint going. I've got 3 colors so far in the works. I got like a light kind of royal blue, and I have a deep dark blue, and I have a light actual just a clear white. Right now I'm going inside and painting the carpet area to the bedroom that they're bursting through. The light part that you see right now is actually the rug that is shown through the light from the door opening. And the darker part that I'm painting right now is actually the darker side of the rug that is not getting any light from the view of the door. So I take my time. I go in with my favorite brushes. I have like 2 skinny ones and 2 small flat brushes. These help me get into the detail of the lines pretty neatly so I don't go inside the line or outside of the line. It's tedious work, but it's more relaxing for me when painting, because it's just like using a marker almost, but it's not so tedious as using a pencil, so it's quite different. If you're an artist, you know what I'm talking about. As you can see, I'm moving on to the wall. So in the photograph that I found, the walls were actually a lavender purple. I tried my best to get close to it. It kind of looks like a lavender purple, maybe a palish pink, but it still works for me. It's still giving that 90s vibe cartoon color. So I went for it, and it's looking good, and we're going for it. I'm taking my time, like I said. It's a little tedious, not that tedious, but the reason why I go for the background first is so that once I go into the color for the characters, I won't have to worry about the background colors mixing into the lines of the characters once I start painting them. Now, as you can see, I'm going into the details of the door, and I'm using actually 2 colors for the door. Only 2, a light brown and a dark brown. It's like a really deep, rich, dark brown. And I'm using that to accentuate the depth of the door, give our door a bit more detail, depth, you know? So as you can see, it's coming together. The door is absolutely a part of the surrounding background, so we're trying to complete that first before we move on to the actual characters and the focal point, which is Bobby. Yeah, I use my tiniest brush for this part because, like I said, I'm a neat freak, and I really don't like the paint getting out the edges. You know, you have to wait until it dries, and you have to fix it again. Yeah, try to take my time. And I feel like it's less mistakes when you just take your time. So we're moving into like the baby blue. The baby blue was featured in the background of this photo. And so I wanted to just add that baby blue in, maybe a little bit of dark blue to highlight the back of their heads to give it a little bit of definition. But as you can see, I made a little mistake and I fixed it right there by the door frame. And bada bing, bada boom. Making those highlights, blending them in like I said before. You know, takes time, but that little brush, it definitely does the trick. It definitely does the trick. I allow myself to take my time only because sometimes I just like to let the paint dry as I go so that I can maneuver better, if you get what I mean. Now we're actually going in with the yellow, and it's not too much yellow in this painting, so I just put a little dot on my little spatula board, and I just went in and started adding the yellow detail. We only had the brother's shirt collar, the doorknob, and oddly the dog's eyes. His eyes were yellow, which is quite weird. But yeah, we're going in and we're actually painting Bobby's shoe. That would probably be the last of the baby blue that you might see. And now we're going into his favorite stuffed animal, Webley. Webley. Taking my time, like I said, is quite tedious, but it's the most relaxing part for me. So, although it looks like I'm doing this really, really fast, I sped this up. And it took me quite a while. Yeah. Now, at this point, it may not look like I'm doing anything because I'm using an off-white paint, and that's just to go in the details of the dog, the eye colors, the teeth, you know, things that may appear white once I finish, but I actually painted them white. Yeah. And there's the dad's shirt. I actually mixed that color, and I tried my best to get the same exact color of the dad's shirt, but it turned out pretty well, so I'm not mad. Going in with a little purple for detail, and now I'm at Bobby's clothes with the red. So everything that I see red, I'm just going to dash it red. Got Bobby's outfit on, getting the dog's tongue, getting mama's hair done. Added a little crimson red to the mom's hair, give it a little pop, stand out a bit, you know. Same thing for the dad's tie, so they can pop and stand out. Now we have the tongues that I have to add a little color to for their mouths. Mama needs lipstick, daughter needs a little lipstick. And then we can just move on from that. Now that we have like all of our lips and eye colors and things like that, I can move to the hair, the rest of the hair. And I'm actually using the original hair colors. The only thing that I'm changing is the complexion of the characters, because that's the color that I wish that was represented when I was a kid. A lot of the 90s shows growing up as a kid did not really quite represent people of color as like the main characters. We didn't have many shows, especially in the 90s. I don't know if they were trying to brainwash us to make us think that like clear is better, but that message didn't stick, obviously. And here we are. My favorite shows starred like clear characters, and I love them obviously, but I would have loved to see brown characters more represented, because I feel like the audience were a lot of brown children. See, my favorite show, Doug. That was a clear character. My favorite show, Pepper Ranch. He was clear. Look at Recess, and they only had one black boy in there. Well, melanated boy. We don't really say black in this household. Yeah. So I was pretty disappointed, you know? And then they gave us Fat Albert. And look at that. Come on now, Fat Albert. Get out of here. Trolling black people. Why couldn't we have a show where a black family, where a melanated family literally had bright children and a successful mom and dad in the house and a happy dog? Well, that's not how producers saw it, you know, back then. But that we were definitely watching. I was watching. The child like me was watching, and I was paying attention. And although I love the shows, I would have rather seen a lot more representation, like I'm doing in this photo. See that? Little black Bobby? Getting this little black hair in there. Now, I could have went crazy, y'all, and put some dreads on this little boy, but you know what? I wanted to keep it original. And, you know, but, you know, how could you go wrong? The daddy had an afro. So that was, like, so crazy. A white man with an afro. I thought that was crazy when I was little. I was like, do that man have an afro? I couldn't stop watching the show. But, yeah, it was a good show. Yeah, I'm just going in with the details. I finally got everybody's complexion done. Once it dries, it'll contour out a little bit more. Seeing as a cartoon, I didn't want to do too much embellishment, but I just want to get it in there. A nice coating of paint and in the coloring of the characters, so it can look real nice and smooth. But as you can see, I'm getting it done. One character at a time. That's all it takes. And as you can see, as I'm going in with the details, I have to go one by one, because it's a little bit by little bit of detail that I have to fix as I go, because you might miss something, you know. I might miss coloring the inside of the dog's mouth. I might miss coloring a sleeve or a tie or a t-shirt or a tooth. So, yeah, I'm really at this point just taking my time, going into the details. I'm using my tiny brush so that I can actually color in the shadow neatly that's under Bobby and the dad. So that's what you see me doing now. The paint is still quite wet, so I work by keeping my arm up off of the canvas as I paint, you know? Yeah. Getting that dog's nose. And I just love how it just starts to pop out as I keep going and, you know. Almost done. Getting those finishing touches done for the mama's shirt. Getting her blouse on. Now this is where I work and do the quick finishing touches. A few of the finishing touches was done off camera, but this was just about most of it to get it where I can unwrap the tape to the point. Yeah, there we go. Tape unwrapped. And it's dry. And this is what it looks like dry. And it looks so much better dry because you can actually see the colors brighten up. And that, what I just showed you, was the gloss that I'm using to seal this paint and make it look so nice, polished, and shiny and professional. It's not the best gloss, but it's my go-to when I'm doing little projects, you know. I love it. It actually seals the paint and makes it look so nice and smooth when I'm done. Almost like you just did like a full print like a computer print. But no, it's my work. It's my work, baby. This painting too will be added to my GoDaddy website. You guys can go check it out. I will be adding it to the subscription box. And yeah, that would be totally awesome. Right now, I'm just finishing up the gloss. I'm trying to spread it out evenly. You don't want too thick, the coat to be too thick. It actually will not look too well to give it, you know, too many ridges. Be careful brushing. Yeah. And there you go. I'm just spreading it out real nice. It dries pretty quickly, so you want to spread and gloss as quick as possible. Yeah. And you see how that gloss just makes it pops out? And it's really quick. Really easy. This was fun. I'm so glad you guys sat and watch me do this, because this was actually a fun project. I had no idea I was gonna do this. Please come back for the next video. Like, comment, subscribe.